Hey guys, Brent Boyer from Adam again. So let's talk divorce. I wanted to talk today about something that came up with one of my clients recently. It was a good question I thought I should share. And please like and subscribe to the video if you like the content that we're doing here. That'll help us out. So I had a client recently who was asking me, okay, I'm thinking about a divorce, I'm thinking about splitting up here. And it also could apply to someone that's never married but they have kids, splitting up. So we're going our separate ways. Is there a way for me to make an agreement with my wife or girlfriend, whoever it might be, on things like custody, parenting time, support, houses, whatever it might be? So in his situation, he was looking at, all right, I have 2 kids together, my girlfriend and I aren't getting along anymore, we're gonna go our separate ways. And we wanna make an agreement that we're gonna do shared custody. I'm gonna have the kids half the time or more than every other weekend, and she's gonna have the kids. So they wanted to write up this agreement about how he had 3 nights and she's got 4 nights, and they do all that and they wrote it up, and they get the signatures notarized, which is fine. Just as a side note, first of all, there's a lot of notary talk and get notarized and all this. All a notary is doing is verifying that you are who you say you are. So when you sign a document, they're just verifying that you signed it. That's all. There's no more validity to the document or less validity just because it was notarized. But in any event, they write up an agreement. I've got the kids this week, you've got the kids that week, and this is what we're gonna do. So his question is really, should I do that, number one, and if I do that, is it enforceable? So first of all, it's not a bad idea. If the 2 of you are gonna agree to it and follow it, it's great. It's really not legally enforceable. There's not really any written contract you can make as a girlfriend and boyfriend or husband and wife about parenting time and custody, and here's what we're doing. If I haven't filed a lawsuit yet, there's no dispute to be settled, therefore that contract is really not gonna be enforceable. Now, if you 2 agree on it, I got this week and you got that week, and you're gonna follow it, that's good. But if push comes to shove and she says you can't take the kids, that piece of paper is not, that you have both signed, that is not gonna be something you can use to force her hand and make you hand over the children. If you're not married, there's no way you're gonna do it. Because if you look into that whole world, the idea of children are born, children are born, father signs an affidavit of parentage, that basically says mom has custody. So now mom has temporary custody, you go your separate ways, mom's gonna hold all the cards and not allow you to see the kids if she decides that. So there's no enforcing this document, that's the point. I can't make her do it, but if you have an agreement, you could both follow it. Now the better way to do it would be to file a lawsuit first. If it's a boyfriend and girlfriend situation, file a complaint for custody or a paternity case. Once it's filed, then we can do a temporary order right away that has the agreement that you want, get a court order, you both sign it, we have a judge sign it, now I got something that's enforceable, now I got something I can rely on. Same thing with husband and wives. You're making these temporary agreements. You know, another example I had is a client called me up. He's looking at a divorce, is coming here pretty soon. They've been separated for a while, and his wife wants some money. She's like, hey, buy me out of the house. I know you're keeping the house. I need this equity. I'm trying to get a place of my own. I've been living apart from you for 6 months. I need the money. So his question is, well, is there an agreement that I can write up, put something on paper, we'll both sign it, that says that I'm gonna give her $30,000 and I'm gonna keep the house? So the problem you run into is really, you do that, you buy her out, you keep the house, she's got her money. It's really not enforceable. There's not a legal contract a husband and wife can write up and then sign and agree to that's going to be enforceable. Unless there's a divorce case filed first. So unless you file a complaint for divorce first. So unless there's a lawsuit filed, then you can do a temporary agreement right away that'll be enforceable. You both sign it, you have a judge sign it. So that's the difference. Filing the lawsuit versus not makes all the difference here. There has to be something in dispute, there has to be a lawsuit to settle that would then be a reason, a consideration for reaching an agreement and going forward. So that's the idea here. So boyfriend and girlfriend, get a complaint for custody or paternity case filed first, then make an agreement on custody and parenting time, then you're good, it's enforceable. Husband and wife, getting divorced, divorce is coming, no divorce filed yet, not gonna be able to do written agreements that you can count on enforcing. So that's the difference. Now, With husband and wives, there is this whole other category, what's known as post-nuptial agreements. Now, is it possible for a husband and wife to then reach some agreement about here's how property is going to be, here's what I'm doing, I'm not going to pay alimony, or I'm going to pay whatever it is, put all that in writing and have an agreement and sign it and it's enforceable? It's possible under Michigan law. It's tricky business. Ideally with a post-nuptial agreement, which is kind of like a prenup, except you do it after you got married. You're married and you're thinking about maybe getting divorced. So if you're thinking about doing a post-nuptial agreement, a written document that talks about what's going to happen if you get divorced, you would need some things in place. So you would need a divorce case to be filed, and now you're going to dismiss the divorce case. And you're dismissing the divorce because you've reached an agreement on how this is going to look, and you're going to stay married. But then if you ever got divorced, you're going to follow this agreement that you've reached. So post-nuptial agreements get way into the weeds with things that you really wouldn't want to just get information from this video on that. But in general, that's the idea here. You have to be careful with reaching agreements and doing things to accommodate each other that you think sound right, and then you write it up and you sign it and you think you're good, and you find out you're not, because that can be very frustrating later. So I hope that helps. Of course, if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.